Adding keyframe interpolation and velocity. An effect setting as it moves between keyframes with different settings. The default behavior you have seen so far is linear. In other words, it produces a constant change between keyframes. What generally works better is something that mirrors your real-world experience or exaggerates it, such as gradual acceleration or deceleration. Premiere Pro offers a way to control those changes: keyframe interpolation and the velocity graph. Velocity graphs appear in the timeline on the right side of the Effect Controls panel, along with the keyframes, when you expand a property by clicking its disclosure triangle. Open the sequence 06 Interpolation. Play the sequence to view the action. A lens flare effect has been applied to this clip and animated. However, the movement begins before the camera, which isn't very natural looking. Position the playhead at the beginning of the clip and select the clip. In the Effect Controls panel, toggle the lens flare effect off and on by clicking the FX button next to the effect name in the Effect Controls panel so you can see the result. In the Effect Controls panel timeline, right-click the first keyframe for the flare center property. Choose Temporal Interpolation, Ease Out, to create a gentle transition into the move from the keyframe that more closely matches the camera movement. Right-click the second keyframe for the flare center property and choose Temporal Interpolation, Ease In. This creates a gentle transition from the stationary position of the last keyframe. Let's modify the flare brightness property. Click the first keyframe for flare brightness and then hold down the Shift key and click the second keyframe so both are active, highlighted in blue. You could also click the flare brightness property name, which selects all existing keyframes for the property. However, there will be occasions when you will want to select specific keyframes, so it's worth remembering the Shift key. Right-click either one of the flare brightness keyframes and choose Auto Bezier to create a gentle animation between the two properties. Because both keyframes were selected, both are changed. Play back the animation to watch the changes you have made. When you animate position, a clip anchor point or effect center, in this example, the flare center control, follows a path across the frame. This path is called the motion path. In the Effect Controls panel, select the lens flare effect name. Scrub through the clip to see the animation with the effect motion path displayed. Let's refine the keyframes with the velocity graph. Hover the pointer over the Effect Controls panel, and then, if your keyboard has the key, press the accent grave to maximize the panel or double-click the panel name. This will give you a clearer view of the keyframe controls. If necessary, click the disclosure triangle next to the flare center and flare brightness controls to show the adjustable properties. The velocity graph shows the velocity between keyframes. Any sudden drops or jumps represent sudden changes in acceleration. The farther the point or line is from the center, the greater the velocity. Select a keyframe and then adjust its extended handle to change the steepness of the velocity curve. Press the accent grave key or double-click the panel name to restore the Effect Controls panel and play back your sequence to see the impact of your changes. Experiment some more until you have the hang of keyframes and interpolation.